Alright guys, welcome to part 2 on how to draw Florges. Alright guys, so now it's all about the details in this part. We're almost done, we got everything that we need. So right now I'm just erasing all those reference lines and making this a little bit better. You know, I thought it was coming out too much right there, so I'm gonna fix it right here. If it looks good on yours, then you guys could leave it any way that you guys have it. Alright guys, so now for this side. So around here we're gonna start. So let's continue this line in the middle straight up. So we're gonna know that basically this is where this one starts. So there's two flubs right there that connect to that one, and then there's one here, another one there. We can just connect it here. It's not the same amount of flubs. I think there's that I did one more than the reference, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, so now around here guys, we're gonna do this one right here, this red flub that sticks out. Another one here, and then it just connects to there. So there's three right there on that side. Now to finish it off over here, there's one, and then two, and whatever guys. You know, as long as they connect right and they look okay, it doesn't matter how many. Alright, so I know that on this one right here, this is where the pink's gonna go. And the pink, or the purple I mean, starts around here, like right in the middle. That's why we did that line. So we could just start it off. So there's three. And once again, make sure that they're like the same level. That way it doesn't look weird. And then around this one, we're gonna do another of those oval shapes. Color it in. That way it's not that confusing. And then there's one there. We can just connect it to that one. Starts off here. There's gonna be another of those oval shapes, and just try to make all these once again guys the same size, and it just connects to that one. And there we go, we got that side. See, starting to look like Florges just a little bit more. Now that we have that, we could do the little stars right here. The best way I found doing it for me was doing the top right there, doing a line going down the middle, doing one on the left side, doing one on the right side, and then just doing them in the middle right there. If you guys could do it better, or a better way to do it guys, then go for it. But this is the way that I found it. There's another one here, and then one on the left side, one on the right side, and then right in the middle. And all these are basically like the same shape. You know, it's kind of like the letter U, you know, flipped all around. And once again over here, just try to make all three of these yellow stars the same size. Line down the middle, one on the left, one on the right, and then one in the middle on either side, and we got our shape right there. There we go. If you guys notice the right one, the one on the right, it's a little bit bigger than the other ones, but it's all right. And then we could just erase that middle line, and there we go. So now for the, like, I'm gonna call them stars. Well, I call the yellow one stars. These like pink things. I don't know what they are. I know they're flowers, but I don't know what to call the shape. You know, one here, and these are a little bit longer. Another one on this side. Another side of the antenna. This one gets really close to the head. There we go. And now that we have that, we're basically done with the top part. You know, we could just erase all these reference lines. That way it doesn't look too messy. But we're basically done with the top, guys. Alright, so now for the bottom, we're going to do her arm, which goes to around here. On the left side of that middle line going down. And then it should be around here. Her hand's around here. So, like this. You guys might have trouble right here. Hopefully you guys can see well. And then we just do the other side of her arm. Right there, I make her elbow too like pointy. And then she has like really small fingers. And then there we go. Might be a little bit hard for you guys. Looks a little bit weird on mine. So now that line going to the left, basically like her the top of her butt. I really don't want to use that word, but I have to. And we're gonna do the other arm, and this arm I actually make it smaller, guys. Right here, if you guys notice, I make it really long because I'm trying to make it the same as the reference, but I found out that, for example, here where the elbow is should be the same, half of the arm should be the same as the one that we did first. I don't know how to explain it, guys. This one, and right here I was just pointing out that they should be the same thickness. So this one on the left that we just did, it doesn't look too, it looks a lot bigger, you know, so I make it a little bit thinner. That way it doesn't look too weird, you know, one hand being really big compared to the other one being smaller. So right there I wasn't happy with it just because it looked really long. I make it a little bit shorter. And right here, this is where I pointed out, guys. So basically, from here, from the hand to the elbow on the first hand that we did, should be the same length from the elbow to the body, and then from the elbow to the hand. So that's why I cut part of it over there, just because it looked too long. So now we can just do the fingers, even though if it doesn't match up, just like on the reference, you know that the leaf is like, her hand is like on the other side of the leaf, but. Alright, so now on this side, guys, right there at the bottom at the 3 line, we're just gonna connect it like this, curve it, and we're basically gonna finish her legs. And right here, this is where I was noticing that I did the butt a little bit too big, so I do make it a little bit smaller. Do this little bow that she has, kind of color it in just so you guys can see it a little bit better. For him, just looking at it, you know, and it doesn't look. I'm not comfortable with this, so I make it a little bit better later on. All right, guys. So around there, we're gonna do this line. So gotta say almost the length of the circle that we did at the beginning. The same thing on this side. From here, this is where I'm pointing out. Basically, that's how this long should be. This line, that's how long it should be. The same thing on the other side. And now we basically gonna do the shape right here for the tip of the leaf. Same thing on this side. This one on the right side is a little bit more round than the one on the left side of that same leaf. Alright, now that we have that, we can start at the bottom right here. And we're gonna do right here, I'm just looking at the reference, how close it gets to the legs, you know. And then we could just around halfway, I gotta say around here, from there to there, halfway, just do a line going down the middle of it. The same thing on this side. And make sure that they both line up on the other side. And now we could just do a little bit lower than the number 3 line. We're gonna just go down. This one's pretty much almost straight. It just curves a little bit. Actually, I think I curved mine more than the actual reference. On the other side, on the same spot where it starts, the same thing on this side, but on this side it's there's a bigger gap in between this and the middle line that we did earlier. Right there, I don't like the shape, so I erase it. But around the same in the middle right there, we're gonna basically curve it. That's where it's gonna like curve or bend. And we just connect it. There we go. Alright, now for the other side, on the same spot, that's where we're gonna bend it. Starts on the same area, goes that way, and then it just bends around there. Erase that middle line. It's not there, so we don't need it. Same thing on this side. But on this side, it gets a lot closer to her legs. But it is gonna basically start curving at around the same area. So around here. So it's around there, it starts curving. It's not exactly on the same level, guys, as either one, just because, you know, she's kind of giving, we're like seeing most of her left side. But just try to do it, you know, that's what, as long as it looks good, it's okay. Alright, so now that we have that, so this is the number 2 line. We're gonna just do a reference line going across, and a little bit lower than that is where we're gonna do this like shape for the leaf right there that she has. There we go. Now the same thing on the other side, around the same level, because if you guys look at the references, they basically are on the same level, so we're trying to do that as close as we can. There we go. Now in the middle, from there to that, we're gonna do another little line. Right here I'm just doing a reference line, make sure they match up. And now we're just gonna do this like V shape. The same thing on this side. So these V shapes should be the same size. They should basically look the same. Alright, so now that we have that, we can just connect it to around here. And then this one connects there. Same thing on this side. But if you guys notice right here, the one on the right is gonna look a lot bigger than the one on the left, just because it's like wider. I do change that later on once I do my final drawing. That way it's not like a big thing that you guys can notice right away. Right now, if you guys notice, the one on the right is way bigger. I noticed that right away as soon as I did it. So I do erase it right here, trying to fix it a little bit. Alright, now that we have that around here at the bottom, we just need to do the other 2 leaves, and these go up to that 4 line that we did earlier. Same thing on this side, and these 2 should basically be the same, you know. And just look at the reference just so you guys can get the right shape of them, get a better idea of how they look. Imagine those are her feet. Now that I'm looking at the reference, it's kind of like a mermaid, you know. Alright, so now we're pretty much done with the sketch, guys. Now it's just about erasing all those reference lines, you know. That's why I said earlier not to press that hard, that way we could erase them easily. And just looking at our sketch, you know, once we erase all these lines, all the lines that are not supposed to be there, the drawing, our sketch is going to look a lot cleaner, and we're going to be able to notice anything that doesn't look right, you know. And this is the perfect time to change that. So I'm pretty much happy with my sketch. Once I do my final drawing, I'll basically just copy the sketch, but just work on the lines a little bit better, you know, do small changes and all that. So yeah, guys, so from here on, you guys could do anything you guys want. You guys could ink it, you know, go over it, make any changes or whatever. But like all my other videos, I erase it, as you guys see me doing here. And it just makes it a lot easier because it gets a lot cleaner, you know. So that's the way I do it. And yeah, guys, so this is the final outline. Basically the way I start is that I start in one area. I erased it, you know. Even though I'm erasing, I can still see those lines. They're still there. They're a lot more noticeable in person, but if you guys pay close attention, you guys might be able to see some of those lines where they were before, where I made small changes. But like I said, I didn't make that many. I start one area. For example, for this one, I started on the eye. And then I started on the head, you know, and then I just started going from there. I did the red flower, and then I started going for the body and just basically did that. But it's basically the same as the sketch. The only thing that I did work on a little bit was on the bottom, like her feet basically. If you guys look, you guys might be able to see the lines that I erased. So I just cleaned it up a little bit, you know, and it looks a lot better just looking at it. if you guys look at the reference, it's gonna be a lot easier to do your final drawing. Just pay close attention as you guys are redrawing it, if you guys are gonna do it the same way I did. But if not, then just work on your sketch, guys, and then just make any changes to it. If something doesn't look right, go for it. One of the things that I'm looking at right now that I didn't do right was her left ear. The end should be a little bit more round. Mine's a little bit like the same, you know, it's all the same throughout. I did do that a little bit on the right one, but on the left one, now that I'm looking at the reference, the bottom should be a lot bigger than where it connects to her head. So that was my mistake. So maybe that's something that you guys could fix on yours. I didn't notice that till now. So there's always things that you're gonna want to change later on once you look back at your drawings. But that's something I didn't notice when I was doing it. But it's just looking at small things like that, guys. Small lines, you know, small things that you guys could maybe, you know, tweak a little bit, change, just to make it a little bit more better. But overall, I'm happy with it, guys. This is the first time I did Florges, and I think it came out pretty close to the reference. It didn't come out exactly, but I think it came out pretty close. So yeah, guys. So now this is, I did end up coloring, as you guys can see here. I used my Prisma Premier color markers. I used the regular red and like a darker red for her like flower area. I didn't have like a light purple or magenta color like the one you see on the reference. So since I didn't have that color, I had to use the closest one that I had, which was that dark purple. And I don't know, it stands out way too much than it does on the reference. Mine looks a little bit more simple, more plain. Once I colored it, you know, it looks a little bit less detailed, just because I didn't have the right colors, guys. But it still came out okay, I think. If you guys don't compare it to the reference, it still looks like Florges. But just having them together, you know, the colors right away, they stand out, the difference, you know. And then for the little oval shapes that we did, I did them like pink because they're a lot lighter. They're not purple like because they're basically like bushes, you know, flowers around her neck. That's what I think they are. But yeah, and then I did the same thing, the same color that I did the ovals. I did the little like white shapes that she has on the red flower bush that she has around her neck, you know, the little yellow ones, stars that we did. The other ones, the one that have 3, I use the same color for that. And then the yellow stars or flowers, I use just the regular yellow. For the green, I use the same green, the same color, although you guys see on some areas are a little bit darker. The only reason for that is because I went over it again later once it dried a little bit, and it just makes it a little bit darker, you know, even though it's the same color. So I used that for like basically I colored everything that's green, and then once it dried, I look at the reference for like the shadows, and then I just did that. I could have done a better job on that, but I didn't want to. It was pretty late when I was doing this. It was like around midnight when I was coloring Florges, just because I did a drawing earlier. I was doing a video. I started a new series where I'm gonna draw every Pokemon, and it's gonna be a speed video. It's not gonna be like a tutorial like this one that are really long. It's just like a minute, 2 minute long videos of every Pokemon that I'll be drawing. So make sure to go check it out. I started with Bulbasaur, so that's the first one. But yeah, guys, so basically that's it. And then for the body, I just left it in white just because it's white. But I just used a really light gray for the shadows, like on the neck area, on the bottom of her face, and basically that's it, guys. And then like a really dark gray for her eye, and then just a little bit of black. Just, I don't know, guys. If you guys look at the reference, I think it's too small, but it has it like that. And that's it. And then I did outline it in pen, like just a regular black pen. Just usually I use my pen, my Sharpie, or like a thicker fine tip Sharpie. But the Sharpie was gonna be a little bit too thick, even though it's a fine tip, so I just used the regular. Maybe it would have looked a little bit better with the fine tip Sharpie, because the outline would have been a little bit more pronounced. It would have been a little bit thicker. Maybe it would have looked a little bit better overall, but I just did it in regular pen. And that's it, guys. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I was able to help you guys out. I know there's a lot of you guys that requested Florges. I'm sorry that it took a long time. It's just that there's so many I need to do, you know. So hopefully it was helpful enough. Let me know in the comment section if you guys did end up drawing Florges. I would love to know, you know, how it came out. If you guys want to share it with me, make sure to go to send it to my Twitter. It's usually like the best spot that you guys could share your Pokemon drawings is on my Twitter. The links will be in the description to my Twitter and my email, where you guys can send them in, and just let me know how it turned out, you know. Let me know if you had any trouble, what was the parts that you had any trouble with. If there's anybody else that comments, you know, that they had trouble in one spot and you can help them out, maybe you got some tips on it, go ahead. If you guys need help, just leave a comment and I'll try to do the same thing, you know. I'll try to help you guys out. But yeah, guys, that was the tutorial. So thanks for watching, and I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next video. Team Rocket Draws out.